everyone, Bama here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm standing in front of a 2024 INEOS Grenadier, and this thing is absolutely amazing. It's an off-road specialist, but does it compete with the Jeep Rubicon, and does it compete with the Range Rover? We're going to find out. So come on, let's go. All right, coming to the front, this almost reminds me of a G-Wagon to a certain degree, especially the way you got the hood right here. You got the steep lines coming in. Of course, you got your LED headlamps. You got some supporting lights here. You got your blacked out grille, your bumper with all your sensors. And, you know, normally I'm used to seeing these in, sand color, tan, something that you would want to see going over the Sahara. But with this black and blacked out, it definitely looks like a G-Wagon, especially from the front to me. Underneath, you got your recovery hooks, and you start to see your skid plate protection. This thing has 3 skid plates going down the entire length. So this is specifically designed for off-road. Of course, you got your little INEOS symbol here, which I think is a good look. You have Grenadier written in the headlamps here. Coming over here to the side, of course, you got Grenadier stamped in right here. And this is black on black. You got INEOS badging here. Got some little reflector lights here. So this has been upgraded. It's not your typical Grenadier. This does have upgraded Black Rhino 18-inch wheels aftermarket, and it does have the open country Toyo tires, 35-inch tires, and it has been lifted 2.5 inches. So, this does have a water weighting function where it raises itself automatically, but this has already been raised 2.5 inches and go even higher. So you could probably go in about 36 inches of water when it's all said and done. Coming around, of course, you got your mirrors here. This does have the tinted windows. You got your roof racks here. Going down the side, it's pretty basic. It's just the black on black going down. Like I said, it does kind of look like a G-Wagon. It's got that boxy look to it. Of course, here you said built-in Hambach right there. And of course, you got the French flags colors right there. Coming around here to the back, of course, you got your round LED rear lamps here. You got a little climbing ladder here to get on top of the roof. You got your full-size spare with your Black Rhino, and you can really get a good look at the rims here. These are beadlock capable, so they are upgraded to that. Underneath, you see more skid plate protection. Like I said, you have 3 skid plates going down the length of it. You do have more recovery hooks there. And, overall, it just looks like a really spec'd out off-road machine. And this thing is purely meant for off-roading, but it also does have some creature comforts that we're going to get into here in a minute. So let's check out the back. All right, coming around to the back, opening this up, you do have a fair amount of storage here. You got a power outlet here. You got some storage in here. You got some tie downs here. You got a very hard plastic right here, which is easy to wash out, which if you're taking this off-road, doing a lot of mudding, getting into the dirt, you want that. The seats up front do fold down, so it'll give you even more storage as well. It's a very capable machine, and if you need it to go around town, and whether it's groceries or going to Lowe's or Home Depot, it can definitely handle that as well. Obviously back here we have some Jurassic World stuff, since if you're going to Jurassic Park, you obviously probably will be driving in an INEOS. All right, let's go check out the back seat. You got some storage in here. You got some tie downs here. You got a very hard plastic right here, which is easy to wash out, which if you're taking this off-road, doing a lot of mudding, getting into the dirt, you want that. The seats up front do fold down, so it'll give you even more storage as well. It's a very capable machine, and if you need it to go around town, and whether it's groceries or going to Lowe's or Home Depot, it can definitely handle that as well. Obviously back here we have some Jurassic World stuff, since if you're going to Jurassic Park, you obviously probably will be driving in an INEOS. All right, let's go check out the back seat. All right, coming around to the back seat, it does have a decent amount of space, not a ton of space, but you can definitely fit 2 people back here. Don't know if I want to take a road trip, but going out to dinner with some friends, perfectly fine. We got obviously our speakers. We got some nice gloss black, some nice materials back here. Of course, here's your vents, and you do have USBs, looks like A and C right here, so everybody can keep charged. And these are Recaro seats, and we'll get a better look at them as well once we get to the front, but they are leather. They are really comfortable, and that's one of the nicer features about this particular trim, is that you do get the leather Recaro seats. All right, let's go check out the front. All right, everybody, coming to the front, of course, you got your window controls here, your rear view mirror controls, lock, unlock, storage space. Of course, you got the upgraded speaker system. And here you got your Recaro seats. These are manual adjustable seats, which probably should be automatic, I'm not gonna lie, but they are manually adjustable. Come in here, it's a lot of rugged materials. You get to the steering wheel. The steering wheel is leather. You do have a little marker up top, and you got Grenadier written across here. And most of your display for your gauges are going to be in the center console at the center screen right there. You do have a little bit of a screen here, but it's mainly for let you know if your lights are on, if your engine's got problems, if you got low tire pressure, things like that. So let's go ahead and jump in, and y'all can laugh at me getting into a 2.5-inch lift. So once you're inside, like I said, the seats are extremely comfortable. You do have a little bit of storage here with some power and USB outlets, and it is lockable. Right here, you got 2 cup holders here. Of course, you got your shifter here, and you got your high and low 4-wheel drive, as well as your locking differentials here. Sitting in this reminds me of kind of like a tank, because you see a tank on TV and it's got all the buttons and everything looks kind of metallic. So, I mean, you got your heated seats here, your temperature controls, you got your window defrosters, everything, it's got, you even got like a little guard. You got little guardrails for your hazard protection here. It's like, hitting a self-destruct button or something. You got your parking assist, AC, everything like that. Of course, here you got your compass, and it tells you what your altitude is. It's just crazy sitting in here. It just kind of looks like you're in a tank, no joke. On the steering wheel, of course, you got your cruise control, you got your volumes for your radio and stuff. For the horn, it's got toot, and it's got like a little bicycle in red here, and this red button, which is an interesting look. Coming up here to the display, it is, so you can control the display. You can touch it and control it, and it's pretty responsive. And of course, you guys go to off-road, and you got all your off-road settings, but you can control it with this knob down here and these buttons as well. So if you don't want to use the touch screen, you don't have to. You can, and of course right here, this shows us our attitude, right? 565 feet. We're at a 3-degree pitch and a 1-degree roll. So you can, obviously do all of that with it. Up top, you got more buttons like you're sitting into a military vehicle. It's almost like you're in a French Legionnaire in the Sahara Desert. Like when I see this, I'm thinking like a French Special Forces in the desert, going over the Sahara, going over the dunes, going down the streets of Cairo. So here you got your interior lights. Of course, here you got your limited slip differential. You got your downhill assist right here, which is basically your cruise control for off-road and downhill. You got levelers for your exterior lights where you can raise and lower them depending on where you're at on the trail. You got auxiliary. You got your off-road mode here. You got your waiting mode, which will raise it up. I think max raise is almost like 2 meters. I mean, it's nuts how high this can go. And of course, you got your auxiliary power switches here for your exterior and interior, so you can hook up some more lights if you need to. And you got these little sunroofs that you can kind of open, which gives a little bit more light in here. Overall, it's a very unique look. Like I said, you think you're in a tank when you see all of this stuff, or you're in a military vehicle. I think it gives it a good cabin presence, and it's different, right? You don't see stuff like this a lot. Coming over here, you see kind of how they go for the rugged look with the materials here. You even got, an old crap handle right here, especially if you're riding with somebody and y'all are really getting into some off-road stuff. Of course, you got a small glove box here. So, overall, very unique vehicle. This is a pure off-road vehicle. So, we'll go into some of the performance and check out the engine right now. So come on, let's go. All right, so powering this off-road beast is the BMW engine. It's an inline 6 turbocharged with 282 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque. In today's world, that doesn't sound like a lot. However, it's plenty enough to take this off-road and most off-road places that anyone's going to want to go. This isn't a speed demon by any stretch. I mean, I think you're looking at 0 to 60 in probably about 7 seconds, because for 282 horsepower, this weighs probably, I think it weighs like 58 or 5,900 pounds. So you're not going to win any speed races with it, but it has enough power with a 4-wheel drive to go in and out of whatever ditch you want, in and out of whatever rut, through any sand, snow, whatever you can get it into. I do like the fact that it is a BMW engine, so my question to INEOS is, when are you going to put an M engine in it? Let's see what this thing will do with a souped up 600 horsepower BMW M engine in it. I think that would be a vehicle that most people would definitely want to get in and drive. All right, let's talk about some of the suspension. All right, speaking of suspension, this is a multi-link coil suspension system, and it's also kind of independent on the front and back. So it gives maximum performance, especially when you're going off-road. It has 10.4 inches of ground clearance. However, this has been lifted 2.5 inches, so you're probably going to get closer to 12 inches of ground clearance on this particular vehicle. The wading depth is 31.5 inches. But like I said, with the lift, you're probably looking at about 33 inches, which is relatively close to the 36 inches I commented on earlier. So from a suspension standpoint, whether you're rock crawling, going through a desert dune, or wading through water on a muddy trail, this should be able to handle pretty much anything you're going to throw at it. All right, everybody, we have all the cameras set up, I think, unless I'm missing one. One of the things I would like to note for everybody, this does have a key with an actual key. It's not just a key fob. So lock, unlock, Grenadier written across here, a little symbol here, and there's your key. We don't get that a lot these days, so we have to point it out when we do. Like I said, this screen just basically lets you know if there's an issue or if your lights are on. You got the steering wheel here with your cruise control, your toot horn, and of course volume controls, things like that. And there's the actual display, so the infotainment center and your gauge display all in one. Of course, you got your RPMs, miles per hour, your tire pressures, what gear you're in, fuel, temperature of the engine, and of course you can go here to all your off-road specs that you want. So let's see here. We might take this a little off-road before we head back to the dealership. Just throwing it out there. I mean, what can you really tell about a vehicle if you're just keeping it on road? All right, the start-stop thing's got to go. It's like the worst invention ever in a vehicle. Part of Bailey's homework is going to be, when we're in vehicles like this and the Jeep, is finding us some off-road places that we can go off-roading, but yet still not completely wreck the vehicle. The suspension's actually, to me, the suspension doing this feels better than it does on the road. You can tell it's really what it's really geared for. All right, we're gonna go through a little dip here. There we go. Yeah, plenty of ground clearance. No issues there. Took it like a champ. I do think INEOS needs to upgrade the engine a little bit. I know you don't need it for most of what people are going to do, but I think a lot of people also mall crawl, and they want to take their Grenadier to They're not taking it through the Sahara. They're not going through the French Alps with it. And they're taking it to Starbucks. So you want to give it maybe a little bit more pep. So I mean, upgrade it to an M2 with 450 horsepower, inline 6, turbocharged 6. I think that would be. This is a 3-liter, but like I said, it's not. I think they could upgrade it to the M2, and then even make another level if people wanted to get real adventurous and upgrade it to like an M6 or an M8 engine. I think there would be a market for that. On the road, you definitely feel the size of this. I don't think it's quite as big as a G-Wagon, but it's not far off either. And of course, we're on a 2.5-inch lift, so we're really sitting up high. As far as handling, the steering is pretty loose on this. It's really weird because I would expect it to be a little bit tighter, but I think because of the off-road mode, I mean, it's basically straight off-road mode all the time. I mean, you can change it up there a little bit, I guess, but I think it just comes naturally that way. There's a lot of, you can see with my hands, there's a lot of play in it. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But if you want an extremely off-road capable vehicle and you want something a little bit different, you don't want just a Jeep Wrangler like everybody else, or you don't want a Gladiator, and you don't want to pay $100 grand for a Range Rover, then, you know, this could definitely fit the bill. It has a little bit of pep when you hit the gas. So this is made in Hamburg, France. I did notice the German colors outside on some of the badging, which I think is because of the BMW engine. Kind of shows the collaboration between the two companies. I could probably make a lot of politically incorrect jokes right now, but I will not do that. You can daily drive this vehicle and be just fine, especially once you get used to it, but the strengths of this vehicle are going to lie with taking it off-road. Whether you're going, you know, you got to drive through a lot of forest or terrain to get to your hunting lodge or your hunting club, this would be perfect for. I want to see what the noise level is on the interstate doing 70. The top speed of this is electronically controlled at 99 miles an hour. But like I said, you're not buying this to which left, right?
I'd say that's fine.
But you're not buying this to be a speed demon. Which may be another good reason why it's a good vehicle for your teenager. It's not going to go super fast. That front hood, though, definitely reminds me of the G-Wagon, the way it is. And especially with this blacked out spec. I'm just so used to seeing these in that sand or tan color.
Yeah. I know.
And it does have the steering wheel marker. So I guess, you know, they're expecting you to be doing off-roading and twisting and turning. All right, we're going to see what this is going to be like on the interstate. I want to get a feel for the ride. The seats are all comfortable. They're Recaros. I'm not worried about those. But I want to get a feel for the ride and the noise level doing actually 70 or 75 miles an hour.
You get up to 60 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It catches. I can tell though, this, because of the aerodynamics, this thing really catches the wind. Like I can feel the wind.
It's got that box.
Yeah. There's a little bit of road noise, which, you know, you got the off-road, all-terrain tires, you got the lift, so that's going to be expected some. But, I mean, if you're an off-road enthusiast and you spend a lot of time off-road, whether you're hunting, fishing, or just like to go off-road and drive off-road, I think this is a perfectly capable vehicle. There's definitely a lot worse. It's just that we don't get to, part because of the limited time, and two, part because of where we live, we don't get to see what it's like in its natural, you know, setting. And you could daily drive this. Unless I was going to go to the beach and off-road this on a lot of sand, I probably wouldn't drive it to the beach. One, for gas mileage and, you know, different other things, but no, this is I thought it felt the best, honestly, when we were going up and down that off-road.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just smooth.
You're going to get some road noise and wind noise just from the shape of this and how high it sits up with the windows. So that's no big deal, but I just wanted to see what it was actually like. But you know, the Baja steering when I switched to Baja, on my truck, the steering loosens up a lot, right? So it makes sense that the steering on this would be pretty loose. I still think that's badass looking though. Like all this.
Mm-hmm. That looks cool.
Looking for the controls for the 50 cal mounted to the top.
I know.
The question is will this vehicle outrun a T-Rex? What's the MSRP on this? Built as is right now.
They're selling this for $75.
So this, like I said, this does have the upgraded tires, the upgraded lift, the windows tinted. So $75, while expensive, relatively speaking, for off-road vehicles and the stuff that you get, it's not that bad. And you get a BMW engine in this. Which, if you know my affinity for BMWs and Porsches, definitely like the inline 6. It does have some decent pickup for the size and the type of engine it has.
It's a heavy.
It's a heavy vehicle.
I mean, like,
That's what I'm saying. The only knock I would have on this is they need to upgrade the powertrain. Like, have the base unit be like 350, 375 horses, and then have another unit that's like 500, 600. And I think they would really hit the market with people, because even with big vehicles, people want that. They want to get pushed back, you know. They want that even if that they want that little bit of speed element. All right, everybody, we're here. We're going to do the closing and check y'all out in a little bit. There you have it, everybody. The INEOS Grenadier, an off-road beast that is very capable and can be a daily driver. But in my opinion, perfect for an off-road enthusiast. So special shout out to my friends here at Hendricks Chevy, where this particular vehicle is available. I will put the salesman's name and phone number so you can contact him if you want to purchase this particular one. They're great people and they help me out a lot. And remember, if you catch yourselves in the swamps or in the hills of Tijuana and you have a really fun off-road vehicle, go ahead and give it the business and have a good time with it. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good one, everybody.